Today I'm sitting down with a man who helped carve an entire era of post-hardcore into stone. Day one guitarist of Saosin, producer, sonic architect, Beau Burchell. With the band gearing up for their 20-year self-titled anniversary tour back to Australia, we're diving into the chaos and the fire that keeps Saosin alive. Let's get into it. Beau, how are you, mate?
Doing excellent.
Excellent.
Stoked to be here, man.
Mate, I am very stoked to be talking to you myself. I've been a day one fan myself. I remember when that first album dropped and how much excitement there was for it. So getting to speak to you today is a bit of a bucket tick list for me. So thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Oh, killer. No, it's my pleasure, man.
Yeah. Now look, Australia's always been really big for Saosin. What does coming back here in 2026 mean for you personally, especially for that 20-year celebration?
Man,
It's a big
I would
question.
say, yeah, it is. Um, man, I have so many fond memories of Australia.
Yeah.
Even from the first time we went there on Taste of Chaos. I have a friend of a friend who took us out on his boat and we went fishing for squid
Oh,
off the
awesome.
off the side of his boat. And yeah, it was awesome. And then just the fact that it's like, we're from Southern California, and I'm sure you've heard Australia is very Southern California,
Yeah.
and the weather is always awesome. But it's like the thing that's better about Australia is everyone's always in a great mood, and like everyone is just ready to party.
Oh, we
And
try. We try.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think the main thing that I'm most hyped about is being able to play the self-titled album in full
Yeah.
and just celebrate that record. And now that we've got Cove back in the band full time, it's just I feel like I think that we're performing at our peak level performance right now,
Yeah.
and we're playing super tight. Cove's singing awesome, and yeah, man. I mean, like we're actually wrapping up our first single for the new record um tomorrow.
Oh,
So
wow.
we're putting the final touches on the new single tomorrow, and we've got about six more songs already recorded.
Oh,
And
wow.
then yeah, man,
That's
so
awesome.
so kind of what I was getting to is now with Cove back in the band, we're just going back to being a full-time band again.
What's
So
it been
we're just
like?
going to be hitting.
What's it been like like reconnecting with him creatively on that level then?
Oh, it's been awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sick.
he's just like so down to just make it happen.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, let's go. Like sometimes we might pitch some crazy ideas to him, and he's just like, yeah, man, let's try it. Let's try it.
I love
Because
that.
I think he, obviously him being out of because I guess you could say we were all kind of out of Saosin for a while when we were kind of like not active. But he has been out of it for even longer than we have. So I think his level of appreciation for the band is, pretty high,
Yeah.
and I think that as is all of ours. So we're just so hyped to be able to do it again, and I think, man, especially with Phil in the band now, it's like the way he's challenging me at guitar, and like just musicianship and songwriting. It's like the new songs are just turning out awesome, and yeah, it's pretty insane. So we've
Yeah.
we've
Yeah.
showed we've showed the songs that we have already to a couple different people, and the main thing people are kind of saying is that it's just like, man, it almost sounds like if you were to just like a sequel to self-titled but in 2026.
That's awesome.
So it's like, yeah, man, so it's got riffs, it's got like soaring vocals, it's got what we call Alex's psycho drums. It's sick.
Do you think we might get a chance to hear any of that stuff out here when you're out here?
Ooh, there is possibility. There's a possibility.
That's huge.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I mean, like I will say, if the single's not released yet, then we probably won't play it.
Yeah.
So because I mean, it's no fun like playing a new song and everyone's just standing there. looking at you like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's out, I would love to play it. But then we got to think about too is then like what, hopefully the promoters will let us play like 2 hours or whatever it is, because we got to do the whole self-titled, plus we got to do the other songs,
Yeah.
and then adding a new song in there. So
Makes
yeah,
for a big
it's gonna be
night.
pretty sick.
It
Yeah, I
looks,
mean, I think we owe it to Australia, to come back with a big long set. You
yeah,
know?
yeah. Talking about playing those old songs, how do they kind of
Mhm.
hit now when you're playing them? Do you get like a nostalgia hit, or are you just in the moment? Is there, a reflection when you're playing those songs?
Man, so I was just kind of reflecting on this. It's like there's like a because the songs are 20 years old,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel like it's been 20 years, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%
So,
does.
and I'm sure, what I mean? Like anyone that's like even in their 30s, right? Like it doesn't seem like it was 10 years since they were 20. It's like, man, it feels like 2 years, right? So, and us being our age, it's like, oh, it feels like 5 years,
Yeah, well,
so
yeah, it feels like nothing.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Yeah,
so
yeah. I'm like, still feel like I'm 24, but I just, when I wake up the next day, I'm sore,
yeah, I was
so
about to say I'll tell that to my knees and my ankles. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So yeah, no, I mean, it's like I still have the same connection with it. Um, and it's just, you go on stage and you play the songs, and people are just like losing their shit to the songs, and then we look over and we're all having a great time. And yeah, I mean, like the connection is very strong, and it doesn't feel like it was ever lost. Well, actually, you know what? I guess it was, because we weren't able to play these songs for a long time.
Yeah.
So, but now that Cove is back, we're playing them like all the time now. We were just in Europe with the Plot and You, and I think the majority of our set was self-titled. I think it was like maybe like we had a pretty short set. I think it was like 35 minutes or whatever. So it was like a bunch of songs off self-titled, and then 7 years. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So it was a pretty quick set. But it's like, yeah, now that Kobe's back in the band, we're able to play everything, and it's really opened up the possibilities of what we can do on our own headliner, as far as like having all the songs in the catalog available to us now. So that's pretty exciting.
Yeah. Now, there's been like this huge, well, big in that massive resurgence in this early 2000s era. What do you think's driving that at the moment? I mean, I'm personally loving it because I'm getting to see, as probably you are, bands that I grew up seeing and like was in the pit seeing, and I've come out of mosh retirement a couple of times, which I've regretted for like a week afterwards. But
Yeah.
it's been amazing seeing bands that like, I listened to their first albums when they dropped in my early 20s, and but what do you think's driving that? Where do you think it's coming from?
Dude, if I knew I could tap into it, and
Yeah.
gosh, man, man, if I knew, that would be the golden ticket. No,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I mean, like, I mean, yeah, I really don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I do believe that a lot of the music that was put out during those times, like our record being included in that,
Yeah.
I think that it just kind of came from a place that was like very sincere, and it wasn't necessarily like, I don't know if that point in time people were thinking about, at least within that kind of scene, if they were thinking like, well, if I follow this format, then I can try to make a career out of music,
Yeah.
and be an influencer or whatever. I think at back back in the old days, it was like, man, I just want to be in a band, and I want to like play guitar, and that's all I want to think about,
Yeah.
and that's it. And I
Yeah.
think maybe that's coming across, with maybe where people are at now. So I don't know. I really don't know. That's maybe all I can kind of off the top of my head think of. But either way, it's really awesome, because like you said, we're getting to see all these bands coming back, and like, we're getting to play a lot more, which is great.
Yeah.
And dude, we're ready for it, man. Like I don't know if I said it, but I feel like we're playing at like peak performance right now, and like we're
That's
so
awesome.
dialed in. Yeah.
That's huge. That's gonna be awesome for the Australian shows as well because like it's just gonna get bigger and bigger and bigger. So now
Yeah.
look, you
Yeah.
are a massive producer in your own right. You are credited on like 30 plus albums by bands like The Bronx, Census Fail, one of my personal favorites, Dashboard Confessional,
Yeah.
Chevelle. What would be
Mhm.
one piece of advice that you would give to a young person sitting in their home studio?
Ooh, are they trying to be like a producer or like an artist?
Oh, look, either way, I think that young person starts out trying to be an artist and becomes a
Yeah.
producer along the way. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sitting in my studio at the moment. This is where I spend 90% of my time making music, recording, and doing these interviews. So
Yeah.
I'm obsessed by this sort of stuff. But yeah, it's something I
Yeah.
always ask producers. What would you say to that young person in their studio?
Man, I think that it's I think there's a cool answer and then there's not a cool answer.
Yeah,
And I think that those two answers depend on if you're trying to be cool or not to be cool.
yeah.
So
I'll be
so
honest.
I think that
I always think the not cool answer is the better one.
I don't know. Well, I'm gonna phrase it as the not cool one. But so here's what I would say. I think that like if your goal is to be like an artist, right? And you're motivated by making stuff that you think is sick, then just be yourself.
Yeah,
Because that's where like the coolest shit is gonna come from, right? It's gonna be because you like I don't know, like it's because you like Michael Jackson, Slayer,
nice.
and Slipknot and Elvis or something. You know what I mean? It's because you have that weird taste that only you have, and when you hear riffs, you hear them a certain way, right? And it's like everyone else would have like put that riff happening on an upbeat, but for whatever reason, you play it on a downbeat, and like that's what makes it you, right?
Yeah,
So so I think when you're an artist, really honing into like your own style and not caring about what other people are doing. And then what I will say is the uncool answer. And then if you're trying to make it like a career and like we were talking about, like there's this path of like if I do this, this, and this, and
yeah,
it's like if your only goal is to like just have a job playing music and like you don't care about like writing music or whatever, then it's like, well then yeah, then at that point figure out, hop on like the analytics train or whatever and see what's cool and follow those trends or whatever. But just realize you're never going to set any trends. You're always going to be trying to mimic something else that's already cool. And I don't know, that doesn't sound as appealing to me. I'm
yeah.
more much in the first one, from making music kind of like out of a necessity, like I think I don't know if I so like right now we have about man, like in our riff and demo bin, I've got about like 65 songs just that I'm constantly writing,
Yeah. Yeah.
we've whittled it down to about 20 that are gonna be like serious demos like for the next batch of recording that we're gonna be doing. Oh no, not you, not my phone. When I said when I said that, the first part of Irius started lighting up like, what do you want me to do, um uh so and then I would say same thing as a producer, right? Like if you have a certain sound, well actually for the producer I think it's I can give maybe a little bit more of a honed in advice, where I think that if you have a certain thing, you can kind of hone in on it and own that thing,
Yeah.
and hopefully, I mean, and this is where it's hard because there's definitely you're gonna create your own sound, and there's definitely gonna be a lot of people, even as us, we listen to people, right? Like I remember, like back in the day, it was like there was Andy Wallace fans, and then there was Crystal Algae fans. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And it was like if you heard if you heard your favorite band and it was mixed by Andy Wallace and you were a Crystal Algae fan, you were like, dude, this mix sucks. You know what I mean? And then likewise, right? They're like, oh, the Crystal Algae one's way overproduced, So it was like, so you have to realize that as you hone into your own sound, there's gonna be people that want you for that sound, but then there's also going to people that don't want you because you sound like you.
Yeah.
So I guess I think it's important to have a sound of your own, but also be able to do the other things, and as I say that, I mean, like, I realize that, like, I probably have a sound, but in doing, everything from, like, like Chevelle or regular Bronx or Census Fail or Stick to Your Guns, or Saosin, and then having to go over and mix, Dashboard Confessional or Mariachi El Bronx,
Yeah.
or Dead Sarah even, it's like they're all different they're all different skill sets, and you have to tap into what serves the band the best. You know what I mean? Because if I were to try to make every band sound like Saosin, then that would just be one, not it wouldn't be right for every band, and it wouldn't be fair to every band, right? And it also wouldn't be fair to Saosin to make every band sound like Saosin.
Yeah.
So and one of the things I miss about older production is I miss, like, kind of like when you could hear a record come on for the first time, and, like, from, like, that first snare hit, like even if the snare sound was whack, you knew right away. You're like, oh, that's this record, you know.
Yeah.
Whereas,
Yeah.
like, nowadays, a lot of the things, like, you listen to the radio or whatever, and you're like, I have no idea what this band is until the singer starts singing, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. You get this
So
very
hopefully that answers the question.
100%. Yeah. My big thing is I always
Okay.
tell people be okay with making mistakes.
Yeah, and also just be okay with, there's it's I mean, art should be made, like, for yourself.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I think that a lot of it starts with, you know I understand that, like, a lot of artists can be very insecure, but, like, you have to be secure in that, like, what you're doing is authentic, because even if people don't like it, at least, if you're making it for the right reason, then it's like, well, I don't care if you like this because I like it, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, being the artist, I think, is the important part, mate. Yeah, letting your art shine through all that as well.
Yeah.
Look, coming back to the tour, what are you most
Yeah.
looking forward to hitting Australia in 2026?
Shoeies.
Yeah.
No,
Does that mean we're going to
no,
get a
but
shoey on stage every night?
oh man, no, I don't know about a shoey,
That's
but
a
maybe a
horrible
chug
thing.
for sure. Maybe a chug. I was thinking about maybe bringing up, like, a special person and, like, letting them chug a beer with me and Phil maybe every night.
Nice. I
Maybe
like that.
somebody out of the crowd.
Yeah, I love
Could be
that. I
fun.
love that. I always
Yeah.
finish these up with just a couple of quick fire questions. So just off the top of your head, though the
Yeah.
first one is never easy for musicians to answer. Who's your personal favorite artist?
Ooh, In Flames.
Oh, I love that. Straight off the bang. For me, it's always Prince. I love Prince, and I will never not
Okay.
love Prince. Um,
Yeah.
if you could collab with anybody, who would it be?
Right now, I'd say, oh man, can I give a top five?
Yeah,
So I
100%
don't.
you can.
Okay. All right,
Yeah,
here we go. I would
put that stuff
do,
out in the universe.
yeah, I would do In Flames,
Awesome.
Parkway Drive, Bad Omens,
Yes.
The Plot and You.
I love that. I love that. And the Parkway Boys are just awesome. They're absolutely
Yeah,
lovely. So, yeah. Um,
very sick.
all right, dream studio gig. Who is your dream artist to work with?
Hmm, man. I would love to do, like, a huge country artist,
Awesome.
or something that was like, actually, you know what? If I could, see, the thing is, though, is I know my strengths, right? And as much as I love Beck Sea Change,
Yep.
that record. And it's like, to me, that record's like a masterpiece. And, like, I would have loved to, like, be the producer on that, but I know that it would not be nearly as cool. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. I
So like
completely get
they
that.
did a way better job than I could do. But like yeah, any sort of record like that where it's just you know those records where like you listen to them and you're just like, dude, the engineering and like
Yeah.
the richness and everything that's coming out of the speakers is just like it sounds like they took 4 days to like get the right hi-hat sound or
Yeah,
like
yeah.
the right, you know what I mean? Like everything just feels like they must have spent 5 years making this record.
Yeah.
You know,
That's been that's
like
been
if
the
I
last few Ghost albums for me have just blown me away with the
oh yeah,
production side. Yeah.
yeah.
I could
Yeah.
sit
So
with
I
my
would love to
monitoring
be
headphones on for hours and just listen.
yeah, like every time you hear it, you hear something new
Yeah.
and just yeah. So I would love to do a record like that. I don't know what it would be. Um, I feel like some of the modern stuff is just too like in one lane as far as like where the competitiveness is that there may not be room for something
Yeah.
like that. But I mean, I would love to find it. But yeah, so I would love to be involved with a record like that where it's like, you know, up for like a engineering of the year kind of award, you know?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Problem.
Yep.
Bo, just want to thank you so much for your time today. Tour starts Wednesday, the 22nd of April, running through to Tuesday, the 28th of April. We can't wait to see you guys over here. Thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Hopefully I'll see you there.